I am giving myself this 1 month to just really take a chance on myself and just like staying consistent, diving deep into what I feel as though God has called me to do. So as you guys already know from the last video, before I even get into this video, first thing I want to say is like, thank you to everyone who DM'd me, texted me, called me, just everything, leaving comments and just like all the love and just like genuine, just, I don't know how to even explain it, but it just felt like a lot of people were just like touched by my testimony and people were moved by it, and just, I don't know, just seeing all that and just kind of finding out like, the whole purpose of that video was to show like, me being authentic, but it was also just to kind of like create a community or create a space where people can see that, things do happen in life and that everyone's life is not a highlight reel. The things we see on Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case is, YouTube, life isn't always a highlight reel. So yeah, as I say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who literally just like was DMing me, all that stuff, and people who are subscribing and everything like that. It's definitely been a blessing and just like really a surreal thing to kind of just like get that much support. And yeah, no, thank you guys. That's how I just really wanted to make sure that I start that off, or start this off by saying that I'm not the best with that type of speech stuff, but like, no, that definitely hit home for me. So thank you guys, seriously. So, as you guys know from the last video, I lost my job, I lost my marriage, and now I am in the process of rebuilding, and I'm in the process of trying not to go back to corporate, right? Anybody who's in corporate, it's no shade to you guys, whatever the case is. I truly just do not feel called to be in corporate. I do feel called to be doing what I'm doing right now. And by you guys liking, commenting, subscribing, and just like sharing, whatever the case is, it definitely is allowing me to continue doing more videos like this of just authenticity and just kind of giving advice or just showing my life or just showing my testimony. And yeah, no, it definitely helps a lot. And again, if you see me glance over here, yes, I tend to ramble really bad and I tend to go off of just on tangents. I tend to go and just like talk. I like to yap. So, but yeah, I do have like my structure of how I'm trying to speak. That way it's coherent for you guys and you guys can like fully understand what I'm trying to say. Anyways, let's get into the video. But yeah, this video is primarily about what am I doing now? After losing everything, what am I actually doing now? What is next for me? What is it that I'm doing now, and what does it look like for me? You know what I'm saying? Like I want to update you guys on what I'm doing mentally, physically, spiritually, and just like financially. Like what am I doing? Like what do you do when something like that happens in your life, and how do you move, or how am I approaching it, right? And I just want to be able to share this with you guys because I want to take you guys along with me on this journey of basically rebuilding my life, or kind of just finding this new identity and what I feel like God has called me to do. So, but yeah, let's get straight into it. And yeah, that's pretty much the purpose of the video. Segment 1, right? So segment 1, I want to just talk about mentally rebuilding, right? Not gonna lie, mentally, like this is definitely, like if you're going through something like this, where you're going through a divorce, whether you're going through a job loss, whatever the case is, it can literally mentally like just like fry you, bro. You don't even know really how to feel. Like I remember when it first happened to me, like I definitely, like even when they told me that I was let go, I didn't even cry. I didn't like trip out. I honestly started thanking God. Honestly, I'm not even joking. Like after the call, I literally got on my knees and started thanking God, started praying about it. And I just kind of like just gave it to God immediately. And I think that's what helped me a lot mentally at first, to just kind of not take all the stress and pressure and the weight of that all on myself. But I immediately ran to the Father. I immediately put my burdens at his feet, and I knew what I had prayed the night before. I literally prayed and asked God. I said, God, like if you give me the opportunity and a chance to just truly devote myself to what I feel as though you're calling me to do, I'm going to do it. And I know it may seem scary, but I want to take this chance. And that chance is like, I'm giving myself this 1 month, because in 1 month I need to obviously get a job, make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I truly feel as though like this is my calling, and I'm just taking that leap of faith. And so yeah, mentally at first though, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was definitely interesting because like I wasn't, how do I say this? I wasn't necessarily immediately going into like a depression, but I definitely found myself just kind of like a little, how do I say? A little just like, okay, like this is real. You know what I mean? Like this is actually just happened to me. And I definitely just kind of didn't want to fall apart. So I would make sure I'm talking to my mom, talking to like people around me, whatever the case is. There's definitely a couple just key things that I was doing during this time. If you're going through a hard time, you're trying to figure out what to do. Like you just feel stuck, you don't want to get out of bed, you just want to keep laying there. That was me at first. Like I literally just wanted to kind of just lay in it and just kind of like, bro, what is going on? Because at first, like I said, I was kind of like, I wasn't immediately just like, oh my gosh, my life. But I think after a couple of days when it kind of starts sinking in, I was like, man, like, oh my gosh, like this is actually crazy. Here are a couple of things. I'm gonna give you guys like basically just 3 things that I was doing. That just kind of made sure that I wasn't like kind of just spiraling or losing myself. That I was doing, I think that really helped me mentally was just like sticking to a daily routine. Like I would get up in the morning, I would make breakfast, I would read the word, I would go to the gym, or if I didn't go to the gym, maybe I go for a run, or maybe I go for a walk, whatever the case is. Like I would just have to have a routine. When you don't have a routine, especially if you're like, you know, basically what I'm doing right now is trying to become basically self-employed or an entrepreneur, you have to have a routine, because even if like you're not working for someone, you need structure in your life. And that's just kind of how God just made it be. Like that's just kind of how it is. Number 2 is journaling, staying off distraction. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, like again, journaling was a big thing for me that helped me a lot just because it allowed me to get my thoughts out. But I think when it comes to like staying off distractions, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, during this time, like going through something so traumatic, like I went through a relationship that was just basically, it didn't work out, XYZ, and for the better, right? However, I will say, like, I think being single and also knowing my worth, also still wanting to have that, you know, you want to still have that, like, I guess that person, or you still want to go and maybe have that companion, whatever the case is. It is very hard because right now, like with all these things happening in my life, I know, like, for example, like I'm not gonna lie to you, girl at the gym, shooting her shot, whatever the case is, right? Or you're out doing something, whatever the case is, right? And you, low key, it's a girl, I'm like, dang, like I'm kind of interested. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, and maybe everybody else does this differently, but for me, knowing the space that I'm in, knowing that God is obviously something is happening here, he's calling me to a purpose. I had to rid myself of the distractions of just even wanting to like talk to girls for real. Like I can't fully devote myself to a girl, and I don't want to put her through that, because at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is like, you know, my life, but it's also someone else's life. And if a girl is coming into my life and say she's truly interested and she like likes me, whatever the case is, but me knowing like where I'm at right now, it's just not a good time to do that. And it's not a good time to have that distraction when I can obviously tell that God is doing something here. So I think for me, it's just like making sure I'm ridding myself of those distractions. Another distraction could be just like I'm too involved in social media. I'm too much just tuned into everything. I'm not really focusing on what I gotta be doing. I've even noticed that recently I've been struggling with that. Like I've been too much just like scrolling, trying to get ideas, whatever the case is, like, and not creating, you know, so just create. So yeah, definitely ridding yourself of distractions and things that you know are not going to help you mentally is definitely, like, it's definitely important. And then the last thing I want to say about mentally rebuilding is like speaking life over yourself again and again and again. Like, I'm not even joking, like going through something like this, bro, like you have to just like stay positive minded, because if you don't stay positive minded and you're not just speaking that life over yourself, you can find yourself like going into some pretty dark thoughts. And I definitely found myself getting into some pretty dark thoughts. However, I had to keep reminding myself that, number one, I'm not alone and God never makes mistakes. Again, speaking life over myself, just telling myself I can do this, and I truly believe that it's right there. Like I can almost like grab it. I know it's right there. I just got to continue going, and just understanding that, Christian, you can do this. And if there's anybody that can do this, it's you. And I think that's why God put me in this position. If there's anybody that can do it, it must be me. Because if it wasn't me, then why would he put me in this position in the first place? So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. And again, it may sound delusional, it may look crazy, but hey, that's just really how I'm moving. So now we're gonna move into segment number 2. So segment 2, I want to talk about just physically showing up for yourself. I would say, I think one of the biggest things that I think has helped me during this time is the fact that I've already been in the gym. I've always been a person who loves working out. I've been a person who, I played football. I've been a person who just like loves to physically challenge themselves, and I've gone through a weight loss transformation before, and I'm doing it again. So I think showing up for yourself physically is probably one of the biggest things you can do. It literally helps you so much, not only just like physically, but it also does help you a lot just mentally in general. So I think during this time, like going through something like this, making sure that I'm getting back in the gym has been the biggest thing that I can do for myself. I'm not gonna lie, because in that relationship, I'm not gonna lie to you, the gym kind of became a thing of like, due to that person's like struggles with the gym, it in a sense began to kind of hinder my abilities to go to the gym, or hinder my ability to truly devote myself into like just making sure I'm taking care of myself the way I should be. Like, don't get me wrong, I made it work. I would maybe go in the mornings or whatever the case is, but I definitely had to just like get myself back into that mindset of just like really falling back in love with the gym, falling back in love with the process. Because going through something like this, you need, like, again, you need that structure, and you need to make sure that you're doing something physically, because doing something physically for yourself and having that good body image, it does everything. And it definitely helps in any season that is like very hard or troublesome. It just helps a ton. Like it definitely helps a ton. The third thing I want to talk about is just like building content consistently, right? And again, like I told you guys before, like I am giving myself this 1 month to just really take a chance on myself and just like staying consistent, diving deep into what I feel as though God is calling me to do. So I'm taking that 1 month to just like fully devote myself to my craft, fully devote myself to this, and to fully devote myself to this. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, just and to make it work, because in my head, it's like, how do I say this? I just have so much confidence, not only in myself, but in God, that if I truly believe and pray and have faith in this hard enough and put in enough work, something is bound to come from this. Now, like again, my goal is to do this in a month. That sounds very unrealistic, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, but I truly do have enough faith to know that something will come out of this in a month if I stay consistent with what I'm doing. So that's just kind of the reality. Like during this time of going through all this stuff, like I think having these goals and just having these different things that I'm trying to achieve is keeping me going. It's keeping me going. It's keeping me going, and not being stuck in the feelings and the pain of what is being, not done to me, but just what is happening around me, what is happening, I guess in a sense to me. It's just really, really important to have just like little goals or goals to keep in mind, like of things that you're trying to achieve during, your hard times. Because if you begin to just kind of like just dwell in the hard times, you just kind of just let it just take you over, and you're not striving for anything anymore. And that's where I think things can get slippery. But for me, I think me knowing that and just kind of creating these like, these goals, like for example, YouTube, trying to get monetized. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get whatever XYZ to get that monetization to obviously make money from YouTube. But that's just me being transparent. But no, yeah, I think just like having little goals for yourself. Again, even posting TikToks and IG Reels daily for myself. I'm trying to make sure that I'm posting consistently. I'm posting daily. I'm filming. I'm editing. I'm just like basically building everything from scratch, and I'm doing it on my own. But I'm trying to just continue creating this sense of consistency, whether it's, like I said, posting YouTube videos like 2 to 3 times a week, trying to make sure that I'm going after the goal of getting monetized on YouTube. I think that's a huge goal. I think that's a pretty cool goal, honestly. So yeah, even my other goal is to finally finish building that Show Up and Grow journal / guide. I want to build this guide to where it's like a 30-day guide that helps people just kind of find a way to stay consistent, and also to just rebuild themselves like physically, mentally, and just spiritually. Like I want it to be like an all-encompassing guide that has like trackers in it, that has like different meals in it, whatever the case is, workouts, and as well as has like a daily devotional for each day. Like I want it to be like just like a faith, fitness, and just all around just like a journal that people can like dive deep into to really help rebuild themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. And that's one of my big goals. Like hopefully I can get that out as soon as I can. I need to get like a first, like what's it called? I can't think of the name. Not a prototype, but like basically just like a first copy of it, so I can even see how it feels. I want to make sure it's like perfect as it can be. But want to make sure it's perfect and just like feels good and just like has good quality before giving it to you guys. Because I think me going through this process and me doing the things that I'm doing, I'm already doing a lot of the things that I would put into the guide, but I just want to make sure that I'm able to just put these things into a guide that not only you guys are seeing me technically do it on here or talk about it on here, but more so where you guys can take it home and you guys can do it yourself and you guys can just dive deep, because there's a lot of people that are probably going through, like I've already talked to a lot of you guys, but there's a lot of people going through some pretty tough seasons, bro. And I feel like if people could have a way of structure, or people could have a way to just track themselves, dude, it can literally, like structure, routine, and discipline can literally change someone's life in a matter of months. Like literally it can change your whole entire life. Like I'm not gonna lie. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys here. Like I'm giving myself this 1 month to just become consistent, disciplined, and create structure for myself. And literally to literally change my life in a month, point blank period. And that's what I want people to be able to try to do for themselves with that 30-day guide. Now, granted, someone does a 30-day guide, am I saying that your whole life is going to literally, you're gonna become a millionaire in 30 days? No, but I'm saying that it's hopefully allows you to just change habits and to create new habits, and also just to kind of gain momentum into creating structure and routine for your life to kind of put you in a space or a position to win. Like that's what I really want to do. And just me going through what I went through, I realized there was things in my life that I didn't have enough structure. I didn't have enough organization. I didn't have enough of that. And it caused certain things maybe to slip, or not even just that. It just allowed space for things that maybe weren't as big of a deal to kind of become maybe a bigger deal than what it should have been, if that makes sense. So I think for me, I just want to be able to just eradicate all of that and just continue doing what I'm doing like right now. And I want to be able to share that with you guys through a journal, show up and grow very soon. So, but yeah, that's just, you know, another thing that I'm trying to stay consistent with, and I want to create that as a goal for myself. Being spiritually anchored, bro. Like I will not lie, like this right here, man, journaling and just like trying to stay spiritually anchored is literally the only thing that is keeping me not only just like above water in terms of just like mentally and spiritually, it's just like keeping me grounded. For a lot of people, even if you don't believe in God, maybe you haven't accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, I would definitely say give it a chance, bro. Because I can tell you right now, going through what I just went through, I went through two of the things that are usually like, these are like what they call midlife crisis, whatever the case is. But like, I went through a quarter life crisis, I guess. But yeah, like going through stuff like this and just truly understanding that there is a higher power at work, bro. And I can't deny that. There's nothing I can really say besides that. And I think just keeping myself spiritually anchored during these times and just understanding if like literally if God's all I've got, then I have enough. I have everything that I need. If God is literally all that I have everything that I need. And I had to keep reminding myself of that, because going from a traumatic relationship experience, losing that, then being at a job in corporate, losing that job in corporate, not wanting to go back to corporate, whatever the case may be, but I feel like I'm losing all these things, right? But also at the same time, I was praying to God and like asking God, like, give me the opportunity to fall deep into my purpose. Like, I want to be chosen to do this, like to do this thing. And then boom, all these things begin happening. And I'm just like, bro, what in the world? Like, what is going on right now? Like, what is happening? But I think staying spiritually anchored or spiritually rooted has literally saved my life and has literally kept me on the right path. Even though this season right now looks rocky, it has literally still kept me in God's graces and just kept me just, you know, I don't even know how to explain it. Just kept me alive, bro. Like it's literally kept me alive. And I think some of you like definitely know this one with Jeremiah. Jeremiah 29:11 is definitely something that is on my heart. So Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So I don't know, just kind of making sure that I'm reminding myself of that. Even me reading that right now is honestly giving me like that remembrance of just like, man, like this seems like an unrealistic, crazy goal to have or whatever the case is. But I know that God's plans are stronger, better than anything that I could even imagine. And I know that they are literally to prosper me and not to harm me. So even me going through this right now, it's not to harm me, but it's actually rather to prosper me, or it's actually rather to elevate me. And it seems delusional. It seems crazy. Like, bro, you just went through X, Y, Z. You went through a traumatic relationship, you lost your marriage, and you just lost your job. How is that not harming you? And I think it just comes down to your perspective. I think perspective literally determines how you see your situation. Like again, when I got let go, whatever the case is, yes, getting let go in corporate does happen a lot, whatever the case is, but getting let go regardless is not fun. It doesn't matter if it's normal, it doesn't matter if it's whatever the case is, it is not a good feeling. It is definitely a nerve-wracking feeling. But I will say, I think just reminding myself that me going through this is not to harm me, but to prosper me, right? And I just have to keep reminding myself of that. My faith has been like, I guess, elevating or transitioning or getting, becoming bolder or just becoming stronger is going through things like this. And again, thank you just for everybody just like tuning in to my first video and just like reaching out, whatever the case is. And I think what I want to say too in this closing statement, whatever you want to call it, but me doing this is honestly just an invitation to you guys to just be a part of this journey with me and to just honestly see somebody who is going from here and trying to allow God to take them to here. And going from here to here isn't the prettiest thing. It's definitely not the prettiest thing, but I just want to do this to give people faith. Like I want to do this to give people hope, like that things can get better. I want to do this to give people that reassurance or extra boost to think, you know what, I can get through my trial too. Like there's a guy that I know, I watch his YouTube videos, his name is Christian. You won't believe his story, XYZ. He went from this to this, and whatever the case may be, whatever God sees fit for how that looks, whatever, I don't know. But that's why I'm really doing this, and I just want people to just kind of feel like they have a hope, or they have hope, and the hope is truly in Jesus Christ. And I just ask that no one ever like looks at me in a certain way, but just know that this is all God. And I'm giving all the glory to God. I'm giving all this to God. I'm giving my editing skills, my videography skills, my speaking skills, everything that I have, I'm giving glory to God. It all comes from the Father. It does not come from me. And I just want people to know that, like 100%, it is not me, bro. It is God. And I'm allowing God to use me in however he sees fit. And I'm trying to just be as obedient as I can. And if that means me being vulnerable and freaking sharing an embarrassing thing that happened to me that I never expected in my life, then that is what it is. But yeah, I'll be posting weekly. I'm going to be posting as much as I can every week. If I can post 2, 3, if 4, I don't know about 4, but at least 2 to 3 videos a week, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be posting on YouTube as much as possible. And then eventually I feel like once it gets to a certain place where I feel like I can kind of kick back up that vlogging style or series, whatever the case is, I will. And let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more of that vlogging process and still have me talking in it like this at times. Please just let me know in the comments. Like I look and respond to everybody's comments. It's definitely very much appreciated when people just kind of give me feedback, because like I said, this is a journey that we're all on right now together, and I'm inviting you guys into my life. Just inviting you guys into my journey, and just me chasing my dreams and chasing my goals and just trying to truly do what I feel as though God has called me to do. But yeah, I talk really fast. I'm really kind of realizing that. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be posting here as much as I can, just showing the process. And I just ask that if anybody is literally going, like right now, if anybody's watching this video and they feel like, man, like that resonated with me, or that I can relate to that, because I've done XYZ, or I went through XYZ. I did the same thing. Bro, please comment. Like when you comment, I feel like it's in a sense like building that sense of community. So I encourage you, like, don't feel like, oh, I don't want to comment, that's weird, that's goofy. Like, no, comment, bro. Like, you can have someone else comment. I'll comment back to you. It could be somebody else that sees your comment and they respond to you. Like, it builds community, bro. It builds that sense of community, and it builds that sense of, like, we are in this together, right? And honestly, it allows spaces of healing, too. I'm not going to lie to you. When someone else relates to your story, when someone says, like, bro, I've been through that, too, you can get through that, it gives you an extra boost of faith, encouragement, and just hope, and it can also bring that sense of healing. It's remarkable what being able to relate to someone can do. Like, it is actually crazy. The season that we're all in right now, I know some people may feel like, oh, my season's good. I'm having a great time. That's amazing. I love that for you. And yes, like, we all have good seasons, we have bad seasons, but I think in any season that we're in, it's always about realizing that it's not about us trying to be perfect. The season is not about us trying to do things perfectly. Do it to the best of your ability, but it's not about trying to be perfect or having to be perfect before starting. It's really just about showing up. That's my theme that I've been pushing in my Docuseries that I had started, but that's on pause right now. But in general, that is what it's about. That's even what the guide that I was talking to you guys about is called. Literally, show up and grow. People can be chosen, but it's about if they're willing to actually pick up the call. Shout out to Caleb Gordon. There was a song that he had on there that goes like that. But anyways, it's like, it's not about if you're chosen, it's about if you're gonna pick up the call. Are you gonna pick up the call when God calls you? Or are you gonna be like, I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect, so it can't be me? Why couldn't it be you? It definitely could be you, bro. Like, it can 100% be you. I promise you. Steph Curry, undersized, XYZ, had all the odds against this man. But look who he has become now, because he picked up the call. He picked up the call and started hoping. Like, he was hoping. Like, there was no question about it. You couldn't deny it. He was telling you, showing you who he was, because he picked up the call, and God told him who he was, and he believed it. So as long as you have like he said in that one, there's a video that I made before, but as long as you have like that undying passion for what you love and you have faith in God, literally anything is possible. And I'm trying to show that through these videos, showing that to you guys through just me going after my dreams, and just wanting to encourage you guys to pick it up. Whatever it is that God is calling you to do, pick up the phone, bro. Don't be scared. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to show up. You just got to be willing. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, but yeah, anyways, I love you guys. Subscribe, like, leave a comment so we can continue building a community. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.